Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a Monday morning. Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. All right, I think that's working fine, which means I can now push this button and say hello. Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to the live taping of Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. Today we're going to talk about reducing your anxiety around the big podcasting announcements. But before I do that, again, hello, welcome. Again, live taping, not the real live show. I'm going to be doing the recording of the real live episode in about four-ish or so minutes. You have opted to watch the live taping of such thing, a behind-the-scenes look. For what it takes to make it like that. Good morning, Arlen. Nice to have you here with me. For the brand new people, again, live. This is me cleaning up my throat. By the way, I have an appointment tomorrow to see an otolaryngologist, whatever. I'm going to put a scope down there and find out why my vocal cords are so phlegmy. Find out what the hell's going on. That's tomorrow. Anyhow, back to the new people. Less disgusting things, more, just things. Evo, got it. Let's see. Right, live taping. In about 2 or 3 minutes, I'll actually do the planned message I have to send out. It'll take about 8 to 9-ish or so minutes, all about reducing anxiety around these big podcasting announcements, because some big podcasting announcements are coming. Anyhow, I'll do all of that for you, but then if you want to watch it live, that's great. But if you want the final edited product, which is the audio, which is a fully written article if you prefer to read content, or even the video, all that stuff gets posted later on today at podcastpontifications.com. The audio and the text will be done by 10 o'clock, or at 10 o'clock exactly is when it goes out. So 3 hours from now, you'll be able to get the final product, at least of those two. Again, the text and the audio will be done. Video takes a little bit longer, just because it's a process that I have to go through. So whatever you want to do, but I appreciate you people like Arlen hanging out with me right here, and the others who may or may not be watching this right now. I need another throat clear. Hang on, please. See, that was a big one. I didn't want to do that on microphone. Didn't want to damage that to you. Anyhow, that's what's happening. On Sunday, I had to get a COVID test because of this procedure I'm going in for tomorrow. I don't know if you've been to the hospital as of late, but every time you go in, before you go in, they would like for you to go get a COVID test. Even though I am fully vaccinated still, I can still contract and be asymptomatic and then spread that to people. So they want to make sure that there's no chance, or less of a chance of that. Anyhow, Sunday, went to get my COVID test, and I think it's number 1, 2, 3, 4... fourth or fifth I've received, which sounds like a lot, but I did have a couple of hospitalizations last year for kidney stones, and then other things. Anyhow, so, and I forget when they do that brain tickling thing, man. Woo, shove that thing all the way back in there. Pretty crazy. But the nurses at the Mayo Clinic where I'm going had new face shields that covered their. I don't know if you're a hockey fan. I used to watch a lot of hockey. I started watching it again. When players damage their jaw, they come with this big plastic shield that goes around them. And it looked a lot like that, but with a bike helmet on top of it. It was the wildest looking thing. You could see their faces, and you could hear them perfectly fine. But yeah, totally hermetically sealed around their whole face, which was quite interesting. Anyhow, none of that has to do with the topic of today's program. I'm just simply sharing the fact that I went and got a COVID test. I'm fine. I assume I'm fine. All right, with a little bit of warming up of the throats, a little bit of that inside there, I think I'm good to go. I think I can have this conversation with you about reducing your anxiety around big podcasting changes, because they're coming. We're supposed to hear some today and probably tomorrow too. And oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Well, that's what I'm here to talk to you about. What are you here to do? If you do have questions for me as I get in the middle of this, feel free to drop them in the chat room. Like Arlen said, good morning. And I can type back to him. Good morning, Arlen. Did I get that right? Yep. Feel free to do that. I'm going to actually start the program right now, so you will not hear me. I will not be reading those comments as it goes through, but I will come back at the end and do that. All right. So I begin by doing the cold open, which is podcasting pundits and journalists are busy releasing speculations ahead of announcements from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and even Facebook. But are those opinion pieces helping or hurting podcasters? Oh, so deep. All right. Here we go. Podcasting pundits and journalists are busy releasing speculations ahead of announcements from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and even Facebook. But are those opinion pieces helping or hurting podcasters? Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. What should your reaction be to these upcoming changes from Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and very late to the audio party, Facebook? May I suggest that you have no reaction? As much fun as it is for me and others to speculate ahead of these announcements, I'm really concerned that they're doing little beyond increasing anxiety and stress amongst, well, you. Now, that's an unfortunate side effect, and honestly, I hate the fact that my breathless enthusiasm, which I get into quite a lot here, might negatively impact your mental health. I don't like that. Now, here's the reality, though. So I'm going to strip it all away. If you're feeling anxious and worried about that, look, whatever these moves made by the big guys that are coming out today, tomorrow, whenever, whatever they are, there probably isn't anything at all for you to do immediately to better position yourself to take care of them. There isn't. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. I'm happy. I'm really happy that there's not anything you have to do to take care of these things immediately. That's just not how they work. It's rumored and likely going to happen. We've seen it in the beta versions of these things. For example, that Apple is going to be adding a frequency tag and displaying that next to your podcast, my podcast, everyone's podcast, so that when someone comes into the Apple Podcasts ecosystem and is looking for shows and looking for content they can grab to, when they get to the podcast, they'll have a little frequency tag, probably daily, weekly. Great, and that's easy enough to do. Simple math can determine, looking at the feed, how often episodes are released. What label do we put on there? But is it that easy? I mean, what's happening to seasonal podcasts like mine? What happened? First off, mine's 4 days a week. Is that a tag? 4 days a week? Or is it a daily? Or almost daily? What happens when I go on break, which I'm going to do the month of June, and for this year, the first bit of July because of travel, I'm taking off. So what happens then? What about shows that are truly serialized? Not just seasons, but serialized and done. What's the release frequency of a podcast that was complete in 12 episodes and they're all released? You don't know. We don't know. No one knows. And here's the thing, you don't care either. This will be a determined thing. It is not a tag you can go into your hosting company and set. Remember when Apple was a big stink, 2 years ago now, about hosts and guests? This new display section Apple Podcasts would have for certain shows that would show the host and the guest and pictures of them. Huge amounts of hand-wringing around that. I might have been part of that. We have no control over that. There's no tagging for that. That's something that Apple decides to do and then gets in touch with you, the podcaster, if they want you to do that. Nothing we can do. Remember how bad our episode details looked inside of Spotify when Spotify first started adding podcasts to them? I mean, what were you going to do? There was one giant block of text that didn't respect any URLs you placed in, didn't do bullet points. It just looked like garbage on Spotify. Everyone was freaking out about it. But again, what are you going to do? Hack together a totally different RSS feed and send that to Spotify? Please. Would have been a bad idea because now they've fixed that. Again, without any real effort from your part, plenty of other podcasters are going, hang on. They got them to make a move. Facebook is speculated to announce some sort of a new discovery and distribution service, we're told. And that's in conjunction with Spotify. Interesting. Will this finally fix podcasting's discoverability problem? Well, I'm not convinced podcasting has a discoverability problem, so I don't think it was ever broken to be fixed, so likely not. It's probably going to be much more like a Clubhouse offering than truly podcasting, even though all speculation talks about podcasting. But remember, you didn't quit podcasting to start your Clubhouse rooms, did you? I didn't think so. So whatever Facebook announces today, whatever Apple announces tomorrow, don't sweat it. Whatever Amazon Music announces after that, because you know they're going to, don't sweat it. You keep on keeping on. Produce the podcast content that you need to produce. Sure, make sure your fundamentals are covered. Yes, make sure you've claimed your profile on all of those platforms, and you can log in the event they need some extra details from you, but they probably don't. Remember this. Some shows in the various podcast directories, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, some of those shows haven't been touched in over a decade. They're still valid shows. Haven't added a new episode in over a decade. Again, still valid content. The owner of that show hasn't gone into their hosting company and done anything for over a decade. And they're all still available. They'll all play in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and everywhere else. Because it's unlikely that any changes these guys make will force you to make some drastic change to your show to stay active. It hasn't happened yet. And if it does, I promise we'll let you know. So, send this episode to one of your very anxious podcasting friends and tell them it's okay to just relax. And if you love the content and the idea that I just told you, you can sit back and relax. We got this. The world's not going to end. Please go to buymeacoffee.com/evoterra and do that. Buy me a virtual coffee. All right. Relax. Chill out. Don't kill yourself today or tomorrow to find ways to listen to these announcements. We'll let you know if there's anything major you need to do. All right. And I shall be back tomorrow with yet another podcast, Pontifications. Cheers. Recording is off. That's it. Yes, Susan, I mean you. Relax. And not just you, but everybody. Relax. It's all good. All good in the hood. So, thank you for your attention. If you missed it, if you're just coming in late now, don't worry. You can back up and watch the live stream, or you can just wait. A couple hours from now, all of this will be available at podcastpontifications.com. And if you go to the very bottom and you give me your email address, I will send you a link to the audio file and the fully written article so you can consume it at your leisure. Podcastpontifications.com. And of course, it's all over the podcasting places because that's a podcast and you know how that works. Okay, everyone, chill out, relax, see what the hell Facebook does. It'll be interesting. Probably not. When has Facebook done anything at all interesting and helpful for podcasting? Oh, did I say that out loud? I did, but I wasn't recording it. So there's always that. All right, everybody, have a lovely day. See you tomorrow, and bye.